Entrepreneur's Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, so the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, and how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneur's Enigma. Let's get started. Hey everybody, it's Seth. As always, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneur's Enigma podcast. I have a good buddy of mine, Mark Style. He is a business therapist. He is a business coach, business therapist, stress coach. He's done the corporate things, so he knows how to deal with it and help all of us deal with it, deal with entrepreneurship, de-stress, therapy within the company. We'll get more into what exactly a business therapist does. But hey, Mark, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing terrific, Seth. How are you? And happy 420.
Oh, it's it's 420. Of course, this is not coming out to May 30th, but 420. Oh, that's a fun date. For those who don't know, look it up. And we'll leave it at that.
Enough said.
Enough said, exactly. So, Mark, you and I've met you. Did I meet you through Beacon initially? Or was it through another? We crossed paths a bunch of places.
I think so, yeah. I can't remember the origin of how we met, but we have crossed paths a number of times. It's always been a lot of fun.
It's always fun. He's very stylish. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah. I'm sure it's not the first time you've heard that, And heck, your whole business is on the mark, so it's sort of like you kind of embrace the pun, on the mark advisors. So Mark, get it? Ha ha ha. So it's a dad joke, right?
Indeed.
Exactly. So Mark, how have you been? How's the weather in your side of Philadelphia?
It's actually a wonderful, beautiful day today.
I know. So after this live stream,
the saying is true today. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. I can say that for today.
For today, it rains a lot lately, but it's fun. So Mark, we've talked in the past, and you have done the corporate thing, and you enjoyed the corporate thing for the most part. But you're now out on your own, and you've been out how long have you been out on your own for?
It's been a little over 4 years now, Seth.
Wow. So you actually, at 5 is when you make it or break it. So you're almost there.
Oh, is that right? That's right. Entrepreneur 5 years. You got it.
Isn't it the 5-year mark?
I think I've heard that. It's been said. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So Mark, what is it what is a business therapist to you? Like why do you call yourself a business therapist versus a business coach and all that stuff?
So yeah, it's an interesting story. When I went out on my own, I thought I'd be a business coach, but when I did more research and talked to people that I knew who were business coaches, I realized that's not where my wheelhouse is, not where my strengths are. It's not in the getting certified in a methodology and just applying that methodology, the processes, the compliance, the motivation, that kind of thing. Because I my 30 years in the corporate world and startup worlds enabled me to, I think, do more than that. And so what I did, believe it or not, was I did, without even having coined the term yet, I did business therapy on myself. I looked at what my strengths were, what I love doing, what energized me, and what people would pay me for.
Oh, that's
and
hanky.
I came up with there was 3 pillars to that: strategic advising, business coaching, and stress management. Those are the 3 things that are my superpowers, if you will. Having done all of these things to a large extent in the corporate world, with mentoring others, colleagues, and so forth in that corporate and startup world. And so those are the 3 things that the pillars, I call them, for business therapy. And what that enables me to do as a business therapist is allow entrepreneurs to get unstuck, overcome obstacles, and achieve sustainable breakthrough performance by leveraging and potentially realigning their strengths, talents, and interests with their business strategies and daily activities that enable them to go from their point A to their point B whatever that may be for them. The
I love
difference
that.
with the coaching is the coaching, many coaches, I won't say all of them, it's more of a cookie cutter, like here's the process that works for everybody. We're going to apply it to you. My approach is, who are you? And
Yeah.
what are your strengths? And how do we get a process and apply an approach that suits you
I
personally?
love
Because
that.
everybody's different. Everybody's a snowflake, as they say.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so true. And then what is stress management? I mean, I know what the words mean. I know what stress and management, and I get the English definition of it. Like, but what in your mind is like in the business world? What is stress management? You're not running out and saying, "I quit, you jack." You know.
I'm glad you asked that, Seth, because you're right. It means different things to different people. The
Yeah.
way I define it is it's more of a mindset approach.
Mm-hmm.
It addresses things like how to handle adversity, how to increase one's resilience to the vicissitudes of their life and their business.
I like that
And in
word.
particular, with my audience, my client set are very small businesses, anywhere from solopreneur to 100 people. Right
Oh, wow,
after that, it gets political.
Yeah, you're an SB, not an SMB. You really are small
Yes,
business.
exactly. Thank you.
You're an SB.
And to me, when it gets beyond 100 people, it's you get turf battles, you get CYAs, you get
That's the reason why you're not doing corporate anymore.
well, that's one of them. So in that world, a cookie cutter methodology really doesn't work, because these folks don't, they can't it's straitjackets them. They have to have this meeting on this day at this time with these people, and this is the template to
It
use.
doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. When you're a small business,
Not for those size businesses.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's why my custom approach works very well for those very small businesses. And back to the stress management part that you were talking about. So it's getting resilience, because in that world, the personal life inevitably intersects with the business life, because
you can't escape it.
Entrepreneurs work many hours, and you can't help it, especially if you have a family or a spouse or something like that. That becomes difficult, and sometimes it's hard to compartmentalize what you're doing in the business world versus what your personal is. So I help with that. That's a hard thing for people to do,
and that's a stressor.
Exactly. And I had that in my own life, and I was able to. And I'm not licensed therapist, but I apply real world techniques that worked for me, and I know have worked for others, to a similar set of people, of entrepreneurs and very small business owners, right?
Yeah, your wife still talks to you, and your kids still like you. So,
that's another topic for another time. But yes, you're right. Yes. You're right.
But that's my point. Like, that you're able to kind of take what your knowledge is. I mean, when you're in the corporate world too, it's different. I mean, you're working nonstop too, but you do have your technically, you have your weekends. As an entrepreneur, it's so easy for you to say, "Oh crap, it's Saturday. Oh man." The wife's like, "We got soccer practice." And I'm like, "Well, I can't go because I have XYZ to do," and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of crazy. So
it is a very different lifestyle. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So in your mind, because you've done the corporate gauntlet, we'll call it, because there's so many different words for the corporate world. What is the best thing about being an entrepreneur to you?
So the best thing for me personally is that I am now doing, I think everything I've done in the corporate and startup worlds has kind of led to this. And now I am putting together all of that knowledge, wisdom, and skills and talents into what I'm doing now. And so it's perfect for me. I'm doing what I love doing. And so I leap out of bed every day. I can't wait to get to help people and help entrepreneurs and business owners get to their point B and succeed and grow. Right.
Fantastic.
And I'm very grateful and fortunate to have that kind of, approach and be able to do things that I love. It's like when you ask a baseball player, you're making many millions of dollars, but they probably do it for free because they love it, right?
Yeah, they're doing
Maybe
something
not,
that's
but
fun.
but they're doing what they love, right?
If you're
That's
not
what
doing
where
what you
I'm
love,
at.
it's
And
kind of not good. Yeah. Well, if
exactly
you
right.
have to enjoy, well, you should enjoy your work because you're doing more of that than you're doing the other stuff. So.
Exactly. At least the majority of the time. You
Mm-hmm.
can't, not 100% of the time, but the majority of what you're doing, you should be enjoying it. And that increases the probability of being successful when you're enjoying what you do and you love putting the time in.
Yeah.
You're not waking up out of bed, you're leaping out of bed. You're not waking up going, oh, another day of this. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't wait to get through the day. Like,
Yeah.
imagine an entrepreneur having that approach.
Ugh.
What do you think the probability of them succeeding is?
Not good. Not good. So then, what's on the flip side? What keeps you up at night? As an entrepreneur.
So what keeps me up at night? Well, usually coffee.
That does it to most people.
Though
I can drink coffee late in the day and I can still fall asleep. Might not
right,
sleep
or
well.
a good
I'll fall asleep.
sports game, sports event, a playoff game like yesterday in the West Coast that goes, kind of late, and you get so into it that you realize after it's done, oh my goodness, it's after midnight. What's going on here, right?
But as an entrepreneur, does anything keep you up at night now that you're kind of like not in the corporate grind?
Yes. So I will say that for many of my clients, there's no W-2. Many of my clients were in corporate as well. They've either bought franchises or started their own business, and it's that the world of W-2s has gone away, right?
Yeah.
So now you're,
for better, for worse, yeah.
You've got to hunt and eat what you kill kind of thing. And it's a very different approach than, being in the corporate world. And, oh, I had a bad day, I'm still getting paid. You're an entrepreneur. You have a bad day and you're selling and you're not getting paid, right? So those things keep my clients up at night. And those are the kinds of things we work on so that, again, part of that stress management, to get that under control, because everyone's going to have bad days. And one of the things that that we can touch on here is that you've heard of triggers, right? Something, the first thing that happens in the day, you lose a sale that triggers you, the rest of your day is terrible, right?
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to break those too.
Hard to break those. That's something that I work with many clients on, and how to break that and how to get that out of your head and keep going and be productive for the rest of the day. And by the way, triggers aren't always negative. There are positive triggers too. And people don't talk about that much, but did you ever have a day where everything went right? And you, at the end of the day, you said, what a great day. I wish I could have more of these. And then you go to sleep, but you don't reflect on what could have happened that caused that great day. Did something happen in the morning? Did something happen the previous night? Did I have a different attitude about it because something happened? How do I repeat that? How do I get that going so I can have more great days like that?
Love it. Oh, I love that because it's true. And you don't really think about a good day. Let's evaluate it. It's more like a bad day. Let's evaluate it. So
exactly, because as they say, the negative has a much more. It's 5 compliments for every one criticism in order to balance it out, right?
It's crazy. Yeah.
The negatives have a much bigger impact on us.
Yes. So what is the most important thing to carry with you all the time? Now, this can be physical, it can be metaphysical, it can be, any of those verbs.
Well, there's a lot of ways to go on this one, I guess, but I would say for my own professional and personal success and happiness, what I carry with me all the time is curiosity.
Love it.
I am just a naturally curious person. If you've ever taken an Enneagram test, I'm an investigator. So I just love to dig down and figure things out, solve the puzzle. And that is probably the one thing that has enabled my success more than anything else, because of the questions I'm able to ask, allowing clients to look at their business through a different lens that they might not have done before. One of the most common responses I get from conversations are, wow, I never thought about my business like that before.
Well,
I didn't
good.
realize that I could alter my model a little bit or test this little concept out that doesn't cost me much and not a lot of effort. And that could be the boot, that could be the one thing that gets me, to my goals and grow beyond and realize my full potential and the business's full potential.
I love it. And it's so true. It's those little things sometimes that are just like eureka moments. And it's just like, wow. You just have to take a pause.
A lot of eureka moment. That's a good way to put it, Seth. There's, I have a feeling, I'm not omnipotent, but I have a feeling that my conversations with people in general result in a preponderance of eureka moments more so than the normal conversations.
And then it's worth it. So, Mark, where can people find you online? So they want to have these eureka moments.
So my website is onthemarketvisors.com. Thank you for putting it up on the screen there.
There you go.
Advisors spelled with an O. There you can find all sorts of, even more detail than what we discussed about the approach that I take. There's lots of testimonials. I even have like a video montage of testimonials.
He's had fun with his website. He's had fun with it, so I like it.
And so that's probably the best place to reach me. You can also, my email is mstyle, as in Mark Style, S-T-Y-L-E, at onthemarketvisors.com. And of course, on LinkedIn, if you just look up my name, the way it's spelled, S-T-Y-L-E, there's not too many other people with that last name. I think you'll just search on that, you'll find me.
You'll find him. He's smiling and he's got a good head of hair. So,
oh,
I'm jealous. I don't have hair. I'm bald as a cue. I'm getting bald as a cue ball. So I'm like, people with good hair. I'm like, God bless them. So
a lot of superheroes are don't have hair, right?
Or is it the villains?
Well, I mean, look at The Rock and Vin Diesel
that's true.
and
all right,
Bruce Willis and
the actors.
Kojak. Remember Kojak?
All right, you're right. Yes. So on that note, we will see with Kojak and all. We will see everyone next time.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you for having me today. I appreciate it.
This has been so much fun, my friend.
Likewise.
Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode. This podcast is one of the many great shows on the MPN Marketing Podcast Network.